Around this way.
Well, welcome to Schenectady Today in and around the Capital Region. I have a tail that's just going like mad over here. This is great. I have a Sadie right here, but before I tell you that, I want to welcome you to the show. I'm Ann Prill, your host for Schenectady Today in and around the Capital Region. We're going to be starting off our show with the Animal Protective Foundation. From there, we will be going over to my side and finding out a little bit more about what's going on in the skies pretty soon. I'm sure you've been reading about that. And then we're going to go all the way up to Lake George and learn about the prestigious music festival that they're having up here. And with us, we have a group from the Brooklyn Art Song Society. I think I got that right. And then we're going to be talking about Vale Park and their movie event coming up. And then we're going to hear from some really interesting people who are being inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame at Schenectady Consolidated High School, or Consolidated Schools. And then let's see if I can get this last one right. They've been really getting me with these names here, but we're going to be talking about the Lustgarten Foundation Pancreatic Cancer Research Walk of the Capital Region 20th. Did I get that right?
Close enough.
Close enough. Okay, good. I get so much to remember here.
know it.
Our breaks today, we're going to be looking back because we're coming up on our 1000th show on September the 19th. I hope you can join us. It's going to be a big event right here at Proctor's. And then we're going to be looking back into 2001 and some really great segments that we have there, including Domino from the Puppet People. So anyway, we're going to be starting right out with our Sadie, who's been wagging her tail. So anyway, we have two guests from the Animal Protective Foundation. We have the clinic manager, which is Stephanie Johnson, next to me, and then we have Kathy Snowden, and she's the consumer rep for the clinic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about Sadie, first of all.
Sadie is a lab mix, and she's 7 years old, and she's available for adoption, and she loves to play.
She's a good dog.
She loves the
Hi,
the
Sadie.
pools that we let her run, jump in, and she's just a happy girl.
Yeah, I just don't want her to clear off my entire table. So anyway, so if you want to adopt Sadie, you certainly know how you can do that. Go to 53 Maple Avenue over in Glenville, Scotia, Glenville area, and they will be glad to show Sadie to you, get acquainted, and decide whether you want to take her home and make her part of your family. We also know that one of the things that is a tremendous problem is the overproduction, I guess you should say, of animals, whether it's cats or dogs. Rabbits, we forget them.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about rabbits. But anyway, they have a spay and neuter clinic, which is operable. So tell us a little, I guess that's operable? Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Well, we'll be celebrating 4 years actually next week at the clinic, so very exciting. Cat intake at the shelter is probably 2/3 of the intake.
Cats?
Yeah, so cat overpopulation is huge. We offer low-cost spay-neuter services for anybody.
And any animals that come in that are up for adoption, you spay and neuter?
Absolutely. Yep, before they're adopted, they'll be spayed and neutered, fully vetted. The clinic will service anybody in the Capital District. If you're in need, you just give us a call. We have grants that we get through ASPCA, Banfield. We're always applying for new grants to help assist with
Because you aren't funded. You have no funding. You know, no government funding.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So we apply for grants. It helps alleviate some of the costs. That way we can run some specials. We just recently did a $40 cat special for spay and neuter.
That's very, very reasonable.
Yes. Yes.
Very reasonable. Having had all my animals spayed and neutered,
Yeah.
it's like that. It gets expensive, but at least you know that there aren't going to be more animals that may be euthanized because there's too many of them.
Right. And we have two different fees. We have a lower rate from our regular rate if they're income qualified, if they receive New York State benefits for food stamps, Medicaid, disability.
And do you have any, so you spay and neuter them, and they don't have to come from your clinic, from the Animal Protective Foundation?
Nope.
You have a clinic that's open to the public, is that
Absolutely.
correct?
Yep.
What do you do as a customer service rep?
Well, when people make appointments and then we bring them in first thing 8 o'clock in the morning, we have, sometimes today we have 30.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes it's a lot.
Well, thank you for coming, taking time to come. Gee whiz.
And then we register them and get their animals back there so our vet can spay and neuter and give them
Do they
their
take them home right away?
vaccine. 4 o'clock they pick them up that same day.
Okay. good.
So,
So that's
yeah.
good. So there's no overnight hospital
No,
stay.
no.
Sadie, you're doing good.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't cleared off my coffee table yet.
Not yet.
I had a German Shepherd that would walk by my table and wham, everything would go flying off. You'd be so happy.
Yes. That's a
And
powerful.
isn't that a good thing?
It's
Yes,
a great thing.
yes.
Yes.
To see that. You have, once somebody adopts an animal, do you have any classes or anything that would be helpful?
Yes, we sure do.
Okay.
Kathy actually does the dog
Okay.
training.
Yeah. We have a canine academy.
You don't have a cat training program?
No.
Wouldn't that be nice?
They do it, but yeah. So we do puppies and basic manners 101 and 102, canine good citizen, and therapy dog.
I had a beagle that flunked out.
Oh.
Beagles are really
They're tough, yeah.
tough to
That
train.
nose
Yeah.
is-
They got a nose and they just like forget anything that's
Yeah,
going on in
don't
the room.
go.
I got
That's
a
right.
nose and I'm going for it. So. But I think it's important, first of all, to have
Oh, there goes the table.
I think it's important to have well-behaved animals because then they become welcome.
Yes.
They're welcome in your
Anywhere.
home and they're welcome in the
Saratoga, walking through in the shops.
Yeah.
In your friend's house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Proctors.
And I think it's very important. But if someone would like to perhaps arrange for this, how do they go about arranging for a neuter?
They can give a call to the clinic. They can also email the clinic. We try to book through email if it's easier. We are open Monday through Thursday. They can call us anytime. And dogs we typically book about a month out, and cats a couple weeks normally.
Is there any special time of the year for neutering, or does this go on all
All
the time?
year long.
Okay,
Yep.
so it's not seasonal or anything.
Not at
like
all.
that, yeah.
Nope. There is a kitten season. It seemed to have come up later, where it seems like there's a lot more cats being reproduced. So that tends to be the spring, summer time.
And people have mentioned to me, well, I keep my cat indoors all the time, so I don't need to get it neutered. Is that? Tell me about that.
Still very important. It reduces the risks of cancers. There's something called a pyometra in cats, where it's an infection of their uterus, and it's very deadly if they're not spayed. So it's easier on them the younger that they are. We do them at 3 months of age, as long as they weigh 3 pounds for the cats.
Okay.
The younger they are, the easier the recovery is, the better it is for their
better
health.
is for them. Okay.
Yeah.
They're stronger too.
Absolutely.
So you've learned a little bit more here about that. That even if your cat is indoors, it should be spayed or neutered.
Absolutely.
Depending on their gender.
Yeah.
You're right. And if you want to learn more about classes for your animals, whether you've adopted them from APF or not, they can still come to the classes. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yes.
So they're here for everybody, and this dog has just been the greatest dog. And believe me, if I had the there it goes. Watch out for the
Yeah.
water, covering everything down here. Thank you both for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank
It's such a
you.
pleasure,
Appreciate it.
Stephanie and Kathy, for being here today.
Appreciate
And
it.
tell all my friends at APF have a great rest of the year.
We
Will
will.
do.
Thank you.
We'll see you again, I'm sure,
Yes.
because we always love to promote all the events that you're doing.
Appreciate
We're
it.
going to take a quick break. We're going back to 2001. Oh my goodness, that was so many years ago. And when we come back, we are going to be talking about something that's going on in the skies that you might need glasses for. Stay tuned. Yes, I agree. The Bully Buster?
That's right.
What's a Bully Buster?
Well, a bully
I
buster
know
is
what
a
a belly
person.
buster is, but I don't
That's
know what
right.
a bully buster is.
Well, a bully buster is somebody who is strong against bullies.
Oh.
We're doing this with the Saddlewood Elementary School in Colony.
Uh-huh.
And they wrote a grant for us to come in and build a show about anger management
Oh, you know,
and how
that's
to deal with bullies in school.
You know, that's a really good idea. What's the best way to deal with a bully?
Well, the
You
best
hit him in the
thing.
nose or something?
Well, you're not supposed to hit them at all.
Oh, okay.
No. The best thing is to stand up to them, but not hit them, but to stand them, look them right in the eye, and tell them to leave you alone.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, see if you can get your friends to help you out.
Okay, that's good. And
But
then,
what happens is, even if they keep picking on you, they'll know that it won't be as fun anymore, because what bullies love is when you get all upset.
well, you know, that is true, because it's your reaction that feeds them.
That's right.
And you know, that works for adults too. And here we are back again. And that was Mark Kerrigan with Domino for the Puppet People, talking about bully classes, bullying. So how much fun is that to get kids looking at a skunk? I guess it was a skunk. So anyway, I have Max Sudduth is with me, but I believe he came in incognito. He seems to want to wear these glasses that kind of puts him above and what are those glasses?
Those are special eclipse glasses. You know, we're going to have the solar.
So you're not a rock star?
No, far from. I could be a roadie maybe.
A roadie. Okay.
So on August the 21st, of course, we're going to have the Great American Eclipse, and this is the first time in a long time that the eclipse has been visible throughout the continental United States.
Really?
We had one back here in 2001, but it wasn't visible everywhere in the United States. So in this area, it'll be about 70% complete.
Well, that's enough to notice.
It'll be very noticeable. If you go south of us, of course, far enough south, it'll be 100%.
I was surprised to hear that people were flocking to the Northwest and the South.
Yes.
They made their reservations ages ago so they could watch the whole thing.
Yeah, and I have some friends that are actually going camping because they couldn't find a hotel.
Oh, really?
To see it. But the eclipse will start here at about 1:22 on Monday.
So I should arrive when?
We start our great eclipse party at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, okay. Good.
And so, you know, you can come to the museum. You can, if you want to come early and see a planetarium show about how eclipses happen, you can do that. We have all our hands-on exhibits, and then starting when the eclipse comes, we have lots of people set up with special telescopes with solar filters so that you can actually see the eclipse. We have these glasses which we sell for, you said they were sort of flimsy, but they're only $2 a piece.
Well, but they're special. It doesn't make any difference
Right.
if they're flimsy. It's just that, and you know what? They can save them for the next one.
Right. Well, you don't want to ever look at the sun without special glasses because it will actually damage your eyes. And so you can get these at the museum.
Burns the retina, I think.
Yes,
yeah.
you can get these at the museum. Although I think we're down to our last 500. We've sold about 3,000 already. So we have to keep ordering them. So we have our last 500 here. But we also, tonight, we have a star party at the museum from 5 to about 8 o'clock. And part of that will be preparing for the eclipse. So if you want to know more about the eclipse, you can come to the star party tonight. And of course, all the astronomical things at MySci are done by our partner, the Dudley Observatory.
They're wonderful people.
So, yes. And Dr. Valerie, who normally comes on for the Dudley Observatory, is teaching a class this week, so I had to come in her place.
Oh, you're coming in here? Well, that's all right. You're good.
Yeah.
You got all the facts down.
Right. So in addition to, you know, having the eclipse party and having lots of people set up on the lawn with their telescopes, there'll be lots of volunteers, there'll be lots of opportunities to see it. We'll also project it on little screens on the ground so that you can so a bunch of people can look at it. The one problem you always have with eclipses is it going to be rainy or cloudy? And so we'll see.
Well, even if it's cloudy, it's going to get pretty dark.
Well, if it will get dark. And for some reason, should it be raining, we'll have it on big screens on the inside of the museum, projected from somewhere else from
it's
NASA.
not going to be,
So.
not going to rain.
But we're also doing, next week is also our last week of summer classes. So we have classes for grades 1 through 3 and grades 4 and 5 that you can still sign up for. And all the classes, of course, will take a break to go out in the afternoon to see the eclipse.
Absolutely.
But they're week-long classes, and we have one on rocket building, one on robotics, one on chemistry. And so there's still a few spots if you want to sign your child or grandchild up.
What a great opportunity.
It's a lot of
Great
fun.
opportunity for kids to learn and not even know they're learning. They're just having a good time.
Well, one of the advantages of signing up for class next week, they'll get their solar glasses. So,
well, that's cool. Yeah.
So we're really looking forward to that. We also have some other things coming up in August. On the last Sunday in August, we do our special Sensible Science, which we open up early Sunday, the last Sunday of each month, for families with children with autism, and we do a more sheltered
That's really great. That's
thing.
great.
And then, of course, the first Monday in September, we'll have our senior science lecture, which is always the first Monday of the month at 4 o'clock. So there are lots of different things going on, and there's a brand new exhibit there too, the wind and solar exhibit, which is really hands-on. You'd have to come. You wouldn't believe how hands-on it is till you come play with it. But people seem to love it.
Can adults come play with it?
Oh yeah, we get lots. We get lots of adults.
Yeah,
So.
and it helps kids understand energy.
I think it helps kids. You know,
And adults.
It also helps them learn to explore their environment and learn that science is about getting the answers yourself. You don't have to read the answer in a book. You can say, what happens if I do this? And you can get your own answer. Science is a sort of way of empowering us to learn.
And I know that, are you going to do it again this year where you have the inventions?
Yeah, the Invention Convention will...
I mean, this really gets kids thinking about how to create something to make it work and maybe solve a problem.
Right. So that's what we're all about, is helping people solve their own problems, and no one ever flunked a visit to the Science Museum.
Isn't that nice? Yeah. And of course, what visit from the MySci would it be without mentioning the Challenger Learning Center?
Yeah, we're one of the things we have next week is a space camp with the Challenger Learning Center, and so that.
And they get to go out of satellite, right?
Yeah.
Well, sort of.
Actually, it's a simulated space mission, and the kids love it. And we even do it for adults. We've had some adult groups come in and use it for team building.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
We also do Challenger Center birthday parties. I mean, you'd be amazed. And I should say, for the Eclipse, in addition to the MySci website, which you can get to the Dudley, that website, there's also an Eclipse 2017.nasa.gov website that will tell you, wherever you are in the country, it'll tell you what the eclipse.
We can still watch it on the internet?
Yeah, you can.
Oh,
so,
good.
but
I
it
won't
also
need
will
special
give you
glasses then, right?
No, you won't. It'll give you, but there's nothing like seeing it in person rather than seeing it on a screen.
Now, when's the next one, or do you know?
I haven't actually looked. So we're working on this one.
I know
so
you are. Well, and I didn't look either, so don't feel bad.
There are solar eclipses quite often, but they're visible at different parts of the world.
Exactly. So this is a biggie.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be seen throughout.
It'll be a long time before we get one that's visible for the entire United States.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, when you realize that in 2001 it wasn't visible through the entire United States, so that was like 16 years ago. So.
Yeah, and the time before that, 1986, there was one that was visible mainly in the south.
Okay.
So it just depends.
So make your vacation plans, see when the next one is, find out where it's going to be, and make your reservations now.
Sure, and I have to say, I have to tell you that my marketing person would want me to say that MySci is open every day from 9 until 5, except on Sunday when it's open from noon until 5. Yeah. We only close 4 days a year.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing good stuff.
Well, we get a lot of help.
Yeah.
The other thing I need to say is Dudley Observatory, is housed at MySci, but they're just about to launch building of an actual observatory with a brand new telescope there.
I heard that, yeah.
So
where's that going to be?
Somewhere on our grounds.
Okay,
so,
they're launching. I like that word.
Right.
So, good. We've been talking with Max Sudduth. He's the president of MySci, and of course, it always comes with great information on how you can have a lot of fun and learn and not even know you're learning. That's the best way to learn, right?
Well, one of the other things about MySci, if you buy membership to MySci, family membership or grandparent membership, it will also get you in free all year, but it'll also get you in free all year to 350 other science museums across the United States.
Amazing. So we're going to take, thank you so much for being here, and it's always great to see you. We're going to take a quick break, go back to 2001. I'm not sure which video we're going to be showing, but we have another video to show. And then when we come back, we are going to be going all the way up to Lake George and finding out about that music festival from the Brooklyn Art Song Society. Stay tuned.
When he was a kid.
Really? I can't imagine that Mark was ever bullied for anything.
Yeah. He may be big and hairy now, but when he was a little kid, he was small and fat and a little weird looking.
Well, I'm really glad to see that you're doing something so interesting and educational.
Oh, yeah. We're really happy. And hopefully, once we get done with it this fall and we play those schools, we're going to do it all over New York State, and we'll be a model for the state.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So you have a job for a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got another job, too, is we're building parade puppets in Glens Falls. Well,
parade puppets? How big are parade puppets?
Parade puppets are like 12 feet high.
How do you build a 12-foot-high puppet?
It takes a lot of work, that's for sure. You need a big space. It takes a lot of work.
Can you tell me what those puppets are?
What was that?
What are the puppets?
Well, it was supposed to be the spirit of Glens Falls and Queensbury. Oh, okay. So we're going to do like a Minuteman type guy and a colonial woman, and then we're going to do a bald eagle, America, that type of thing. And probably something that represents the Hudson River.
Okay. Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
No dredging, just the pup.
No dredging. We're just
we're not getting into that. No.
We'll dredge up some information.
That's right.
Well, it's so nice nice to see you, Domino. And I know you lead a very exciting life.
Oh, not really. I just mostly stay in a trunk, and they take me different places.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hope that you stay out of that trunk and get out and do some really great. And boy, do I look different there. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But we're going to be speaking with representatives from the Lake George Music Festival that comes up every year at Lake George. And it goes on for many days. It goes on from the 11th, which has already started, obviously, and it goes on through the 24th. So you have plenty of opportunity to check out some of the wonderful music that's up there. This is a prestigious music festival, and so with that, I'm going to introduce representatives from the Brooklyn Art Song Society who will be performing there. We have a soprano, we have a tenor, and we have the director are you the founder too?
I'm a founder and director and pianist.
And pianist. So we have
CEO.
Talent right here. Right here we have talent.
Yes.
So tell me, what even got you thinking about starting this?
Well, I got back from college, and started working a lot with singers, great singers like these guys, and thought that this repertoire, which I was so in love with, needed more performing. Art song is a little underrepresented because opera singers tend to sing operas with big sets and costumes and the whole production. And
you were the thing,
Yeah, exactly. And art song is much more intimate. It's just singer and a pianist on stage.
And what type of music do they?
It's classical,
It's classical.
So these guys are trained classical opera. I'm trained classical pianist, like Beethoven and Mozart. But and then we join forces, and basically, art song is poetry set to music by a classical composer. So you get the best of the composers. You get Schubert and Brahms and Mahler, all your favorite composers. Then you get the best poetry. You get Goethe, Paul Verlaine, any great poet you can imagine. So if you're interested in poetry or in music in any capacity, art song.
And that makes it art song.
And that makes it art song.
I love that. And
exactly.
You're a soprano.
I'm a soprano.
How long have you been singing? And when did your mom discover you?
Little Mermaid.
Yeah. I always sang. My first instrument was the cello. I also took piano lessons. They tend not to start training classical voices until about age 13, until you've matured a bit. So I started studying.
Your vocal cords have to be strong?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and if you think
they're
about,
pretty strong at 2 months.
Yeah,
I know that. But
we don't think about women's voices maturing. We are actively aware of men's voices maturing, but women's voices have to do sort of a similar.
Well, men's voices change.
Right, exactly. And so I started singing lessons age 13, and I think by age 15, I had decided that I had to do this for the rest of my life. Yeah.
So, and a lot of times when you're looking at young people, they're thinking of being a rock star. We kid about that. Being on stage, being Beyonce or, Rihanna, whoever's the current flavor of the month. But what made you go into classical?
I think I always loved the American Songbook, American musical theater, things like that. And my parents, my father's a classical composer.
Oh, there you go.
They both studied classical music. My mother studied violin.
Yeah.
And they said, we think you should have a classical training because if you're trained in classical music,
you can
use that for any skills.
Right,
and so I started out thinking, I'm going to do this sort of medicinally so that I can sing Broadway songs, but very quickly fell in love.
And of course, if you decided to be in a Broadway show, I'm sure you wouldn't turn that down either.
Oh yeah, that might be fun.
Well, we'll just give you the lead, you know how that goes. That was Christina, and we're going to be talking with Zach now. And Zach, you're a tenor.
Yep, I'm a tenor.
Yes.
A little higher.
A little higher. Yeah, but tenors are just like, they're the people.
Marvin Gaye, you know,
I know.
Otis Redding.
Oh my.
Yeah.
But wait, you're not doing those.
No, I don't quite have the chops for that, yeah.
Yeah. So when did you start?
So I had a bit of a late start. I actually studied politics and economics in my undergrad and did singing on the side, singing a cappella, Jackson 5, I Want You Back, that sort of thing. And,
really?
Yeah,
what a wow, this is what a transition.
And I started off in jazz playing tenor sax and piano. And
so
then,
you're both musicians. Well, I know all three of you are, but you're both musicians as well as vocalists.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, we consider singers musicians too, but we were instrumentalists also.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was working in an office full time, working as a actually professional polling consultant, like a market researcher. And,
that doesn't seem like this is not right.
yeah. So something was missing. So my old roommate from college came back, and I recorded on his album, and it was like the heavens opened up, and I was like, this is what I should do for the rest of my life. So I went back to school when I was 26, and got an agent, started touring, and met this guy a couple years back.
And so you're all out of Brooklyn, or are you all, where are you from?
I'm actually the only true Brooklynite. I live in Park Slope. But Christina's from Chicago.
Is it a Brooklynite? I didn't know that.
It is, yeah.
Wow, okay, thank you.
I'm based in Chicago, but I split my time in New York City. Okay. I did my studies in New York City.
Okay, and you're from?
I actually live in Seattle. I'm from Boston, though.
Okay, so when I talk about the Lake George Music Festival and what Alex Lombard does to bring in such great talent, this is not just your local people. I mean, not that local people aren't good. I mean, because they got to come from somewhere, right? They could come from local. But the fact is that they're bringing in talent from all over. How did you hook up with these people?
I knew Alex. We were at the Aspen Music Festival in Colorado many moons ago, and we were in the same piano studio. And Brooklyn Art Song Society and Lake George Music Festival are exactly the same age. So when he was starting his festival, we started talking about maybe having not just instrumentalists like violinists and cellists and horn players, but also singers. Since I was working mainly with singers, I started providing the vocal and the vocalist for the festival, and this is now my, I think, 6th year working with Alex.
It's an amazing festival. It really is amazing.
It's grown tremendously.
It's throughout the village, and I would recommend that you go to their website and you can find out where they're performing, who's performing, and you'll be able to hear some wonderful music. It's so important. It's interesting when you talked about playing an instrument as well. I went to a performance at, we have an Equity Theater in Albany, Capitol Repertory Theater. And one of the performances that they did, they had to be able to sing and play instruments.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
The lead started playing the violin like it was like Vivaldi or something, and it was like, oh my God.
Well, you have to be able to learn music very quickly as a classical singer, and a huge volume of it from all, hundreds of years of music. So it really helps to be able to play the piano or guitar or something like that.
From a young age, so you have facility reading music. And,
that's really, it's so exciting. I wish I had that talent. I simply do not,
It's too late.
Even the birds come and close the window when I'm in the shower. It's like, no, don't do it. But it's, so we want to encourage people to go. Tell us a little bit more about the festival to get them there.
Well, our component is exciting because we're doing 3 concerts. On the first concert, me and Zach, on August 17th at SUNY Adirondack, we're doing a great song cycle by Benjamin Britten. And just fitting because Zach has his first album coming up of all Benjamin Britten, so he's kind of an expert.
Really?
Yeah, released October 1st.
Are you excited about
Very excited,
that? Oh my God.
And we're actually touring some of those songs as well. So.
Yeah, we're going to be doing
wonderful.
concerts in New York and Seattle.
Birth, right?
Exactly.
And then the next day, on the 18th, at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Lake George, me and Christina are performing a song cycle by a living composer named David Ludwig, who's actually a buddy of ours, and he's a really cool guy. It's called.
So you have a new composer.
Yeah, it's Newark. They were premiered last year. We're the second performance,
I think. I think the premiere was almost exactly 1 year ago to the day.
So this is going to be so
fairly new. Yeah.
It's great working with living composers because sometimes when you play Beethoven, you're not sure how should you play it, and then when you play with living composers, they tell you.
You call them on the phone.
Yeah. This is how you want it played. But you know what? When you listen to Beethoven or Bach or any of those, I mean, you know how the notes are written, but everybody adds a little bit of their own interpretation.
Right. Yeah, and especially with the words, that's a whole other level of adding something of your own of how you interpret the words.
We have great poetry this season. The Britten songs are on John Donne poems, and we're sharing a set of Schubert songs by Goethe.
Yeah,
oh my God.
And Goethe was the great German poet, and Schubert was the great writer of art song in German, and I always say their partnership is like Lennon McCartney, and the Beatles are,
What an analogy.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
We should mention also Ray Owen, who wrote the poetry for our, what's called Songs from the Bleeding Pines by David Ludwig, and he'll be in town. He's coming up.
So he'll be there to hear it?
He's doing a pre-concert talk.
We're going to talk to him about it, so you get to meet the poet as well.
Yeah. Oh, this is wonderful. So if you want to really have a wonderful time, and you can go up any day, I'm sure there's something going on almost every day, but check it out. Go to their website, and I put it up there. And also, if you want to check out the Brooklyn Art Song Society, you can also do that too, and you can catch them on Twitter, and you can catch them on Facebook too, and Instagram too. So, you know, social media, onward and outward.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So nice to meet you all, and
Thanks for having us.
congratulations on your album. How wonderful! Yeah. We've been talking with the director, and that would be Michael right next to me, and then we have Christina, and we have Zach there, Finkelstein, who is the tenor, so coming out with a new album. Stay tuned. We're going to be going to our next guest, and we're going to find out about the Vale Park Task Force and what they're doing, so stay tuned.
Pleasure to see you again.
I know, and
doing another great job.
We keep
great.
trying. We just keep on trucking.
You're not trying.
It's a rough morning
you're
today, but we're doing okay.
We have those mornings.
I know.
Every day in the
Some people mistook me for the stockade.
Oh.
That was all.
Right now we have Bob Cudmore with us, and many of you recognize the voice because he's done Contact Show for, how long did you do that? It seemed like forever.
I did that for 13 years,
13
the WGY
years,
Contact
yeah.
Show. But I was in radio for 30 years.
I know.
So.
Your voice, you have a wonderful voice.
Well, thank you, Ann. So do you.
Is that how you got your job? Is your voice?
Sure.
Or was that really what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
When it started. I started in Amsterdam at WCSS.
You have a love for Amsterdam.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Was up there.
New. New. And we have Wei Chong Wang. Okay. And we have Raymond Ma. Yes. Good. Hi. Why don't you tell us about who's here, what they do, and we'll let you take the lead.
Okay, I'm Lucia. They're right here. This is for, if you look at.
See it too well, but you can.
I don't know if we can hold that closer to the.
Well, it's sort of. Can I tip this?
Sure.
Will it drop to the bottom?
No, it's it's more.
Okay, well there it is. It's, believe me, there's something in there.
It's a mother. We tell everyone it's an ugly mother.
And here we are back again, and how appropriate to talk about Sing after those great guests on our last show, our last segment there. Vale Park. Well, first of all, let's introduce our guest. We have Lisa Perazzo. She's from the City Council. We also have Jason, and he is, and your last name I always have trouble. LeQuay is from the Schenectady County Special Events. So we're going to be talking about special events, but basically Vale Park.
Yeah, I want to kind of set the discussion with what we've been doing in Vale Park. For many years, there was a task force that oversaw Vale Park, and through people retiring and stuff, it kind of became defunct. And about 2 years ago, Dr. Bernie McAvoy, who does a lot of work in Vale Cemetery, asked me to chair the task force. And for some reason, I said yes, although I'm glad I did. But we have this beautiful.
I don't know if you realize, right? That's what you do. You're like,
I don't know if people realize between Vale Park and Vale Cemetery, it's 100 acres of land smack dab in the middle of our city.
I lived on Eastern Avenue in Vale Park. I used to go through there to go downtown. That was my oasis.
Yeah.
As a kid.
Well, as you can imagine, when people don't pay attention to something, sometimes it declines. And I think Vale Park did go through a number of years of decline, but now we're really sprucing up the park. We've removed an old gazebo that was really rotting, and really people were gathering there for not so great purposes. And then in back by the pavilion, way back into the park, was the playground equipment, which really
You brought that forward. Yeah.
We brought that forward. We added some new playground equipment. We restored the lighting inside the park. We restored the lighting at the entrance of the park. We have just painted the pavilion with the help of the Schenectady Police Benevolent Association. The PBA. It was great. We have monthly cleanups coming into the park. We have our weenie roast in June, which we just had.
And it rained. Was rain?
No, it was good. Well, yeah, we used our rain date. But listen to this, Ann. Hot dog, chips, and a soda, $2. We made almost $700.
That's great.
People came in droves.
I know.
So we just want to get people into the park, back using the park, and enjoying the park. And I think we're on a good roll with it.
It's an amazing piece of land that you're talking about, because, and I take guests when they come to town. I take them. I says, this is an amazing. It's a cemetery, and it's an old cemetery, and it's got a little lake in it, and it's got a park, and it takes you through, like, I don't know, how many blocks of Schenectady?
Well, 100 acres.
Yeah.
But I would love to turn it over to Jason, because on Thursday, August 24th, we have our Schenectady County Movie Night coming up, and we're really excited about it.
We are excited. You know, Lisa reached out last year, and the goal of our special events through the county is to continue to promote the great assets we have in the county. So, looking at the great work that's happening in Vail, we added an additional movie night on this year for Lisa in Vail Park, just because of what's going on there and drawing attention there. So, we're excited for the first family movie night in Vail. It's a great night. Sing is a phenomenal movie. The kids have a blast watching it. The Boys and Girls Club will be on site doing a ton of kids' games, dancing.
I saw that. It starts at 7, and it doesn't get dark that early, so come early and have fun.
Got about 2 hours of activities. Julie and her team really get the kids going and wound up, and they burn all that energy out before the movie starts. Schenectady County Sheriffs are on site doing Safe Child ID cards. Stewart's is there giving out free ice cream.
They're so good, such a supporter.
It really is just an incredible family night to enjoy another amazing asset we have in the county.
Yeah.
Wait, Jason, did you say free ice cream?
Free ice cream.
Free ice cream, Ann. Free ice cream.
I'm there. I love ice cream. One of my passions.
So, I mean, we have some great community partners that just really support this event, and we're really excited to bring it to Vail. I think Vail's going to give us the opportunity to draw from additional neighborhoods. So we currently do one in Central Park. This will give us a chance to do it more towards the downtown neighborhoods and give them that opportunity.
And there's a lot. I mean, you're right near my side, right close to that, and there's a lot going on in the downtown area. Now, things are changing.
Things are
a lot
always
of people
changing.
moving.
Things have been changing for the last dozen years or so. We just keep plowing forward and just doing great work across the city. It's such a wonderful time to be in love with Schenectady. I've always been in love with Schenectady.
I have too.
But this is such an exciting time to be in love with Schenectady.
Yeah.
So, and we're always looking for volunteers. If anybody wants to join the Vail Park Task Force, we will take them on willingly. And we would love to have somebody who specializes in promotion, so we can help get the word out. And
social media is a great way to get the word out.
Yeah, and we'd like to do some more events, but we really need some people power. So.
Now the park is the lower section.
The park is off of Knott Terrace.
Right.
Yes, you access the cemetery off of Brandywine and then also State Street. But the entrance to the park itself, which is separate parkland from the cemetery. At one time they were all together, but in the 70s they separated out the park. So the entrance to the park is right off Knott Terrace with that beautiful, it says Vail Park, and people don't realize there are lakes back there. I mean, it's an amazing piece of property.
Yeah, and if
in an urban setting.
And if you enter from State Street, that's usually when Chris Hunter will do his walks and talks historic.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. It's really historic land that we have there.
It's incredible, and I know personally I love what's going on not only in Vail Park but the cemetery, because I live in Woodlawn.
Okay.
So riding my bike from Woodlawn to downtown, I now utilize all of Vail as my connector from Central Park
Don't you
into
just
downtown.
love it? Don't you just love it?
And it really has, I'm not afraid to bring the little kids down there now. They don't have to ride down State Street, so we can cut through Central Park, get into Vail. It's a beautiful ride downtown.
Well, as I said, it was and I hesitate to use the word playground, but it wasn't my playground, but it was like if I went for a walk. I mean, this was years ago. I was a young little girl, and a girlfriend of mine, we'd walk downtown from Eastern Avenue, Irving Street, right down where St. Mary's is, and we walk all the way down through the park, and it was just. It was like an oasis. It was no streets or anything. It was just a lovely place to walk.
And people don't realize we have all sorts of different types of birds that live in the park. We have bird watching walks. I mean, it's very.
I remember the jack in the
amazing.
Pulpits. I used to always look for the jack in the pulpits in the park, and I used to, every once in a while you'd find one. So that was an exciting thing for me too. Yeah. But there's a lot going on in Schenectady, and if you want to learn more about Vail Park, you can certainly find out about that. And the Vail Cemetery, which is historic. And Jason will, if you go to their website at SchenectadyCounty.com, You're going to find out a lot about what the events are coming up. There's the Battle of the Bands and all kinds of things coming up, right?
Tons of music, concert series coming up. We're actually just starting a Jammin'
come
on Jay
I
concert series.
know.
So
I
that's
got to
new
get
this
them on
year.
so we can talk about this.
Lots of great things happening in
Yeah,
Schenectady,
great.
and especially with the development in downtown. You know, really is allowing us to
And
expand
all the
our
free
events
shuttles and things that are coming. Yeah.
And the CDPHP cycles.
Yeah, I know. What fun. Come down to Schenectady here, wherever you're watching. Come on down. We'd love to see you. We're going to take a quick break. We're going back to 2001 again, and I believe that's Roger Savoy you're seeing doing a demo, and he'll be on the show in a few weeks as well. And then we're going to go over to Schenectady schools and find out about these wonderful inductees. Stay tuned.
This will make about 2 quarts of vinegar, 2 to 3 quarts of vinegar.
Okay.
And what I have here is another one. Of course, you can't see this because this is a red wine vinegar. If you look on these, this is a malt vinegar. This one here is which means it's made out of beer, basically.
Okay.
This is
I didn't know they made vinegar out of beer.
Malt vinegar, yeah, malt.
Vinegar.
Yeah.
That's what they put on fried potatoes in
Canada
England.
and England, yeah.
Yeah, because we got our
fish and
fries
chips
there, and they were just putting that vinegar right on it.
Yep.
So that's malt
and this is
vinegar.
a cider vinegar.
Okay.
And this is a white wine vinegar, and this is a red wine vinegar. And this is a vinegar that I've had. Actually, it's at my store. I have a 4-gallon. It's called a 4-gallon vinegar cask, and it's probably about a year or 2 old now, and I've got about 2 or 3 gallons of this is a Cabernet Sauvignon. So actually,
I love wine vinegar for cooking chicken or my.
It tastes great all by itself too.
Yeah. All right, now.
And as a matter of fact, I have some here which is a Cabernet. This is if you look in here, this is a very clear, and it's you know what you do is you separate it. The mother drops down to the bottom, and then you.
And there's that Hall of Fame that you're looking at right there, the Athletic Hall of Fame. And where's that? That's in the high school, is that?
It's at the Pat Riley Center at Schenectady High School.
Schenectady High School. So we're going to be talking with Bob here. And Bob is going to tell us about the event coming up, and then he's going to talk about the inductees. Thank you so much all for being here. And we're going to hear about the coach of the undefeated football Mount Pleasant 1967 team, right?
Undefeated team.
Okay, tell us. You start off.
This will be the 20th annual Schenectady City School District Athletic Hall of Fame and Reunion Dinner. It will be held right here at Proctor's. The reception will be in Key Hall, and we're going to have dinner on the main stage.
Oh,
and then,
nice.
Then move to the theater seats and have the ceremonies right there in Proctor's.
That's wonderful. It's a good space.
Yes, it gives us plenty of flexibility in terms of, we already have about 325 people coming. And
yeah, I don't know how much that holds. You're going to have to,
We once had 600 on stage,
I
so
know,
we're
that's,
pretty confident.
Wow, yeah, they're pretty good at getting everybody
They've been great
there.
to us. Yeah.
And you brought Michelle. She's an inductee. Tell us a little bit about Michelle.
Michelle was a basketball player and a shot putter and discus thrower at Linton, and has had an outstanding career in Taekwondo. She's been a 14-time national champion.
You are amazing, girl. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really outstanding. She's in the U.S. Martial Arts Hall of Fame. She's been a world champion, and she's just had a great career.
Okay, and you went to Linton? Is that right?
Linton, yes.
Linton.
Yes.
Tell me, how did you just had to feel that you had this ability to do the sports, and then did Taekwondo come later? Because I don't think, was that part of the
It was
curriculum?
a little later. Yeah, it was my senior year, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. A good friend of mine was practicing in the gym during lunch, and I saw him practicing, and I was pretty interested, and he invited me to take a class, and I went and took a class, and that was it. So.
Isn't it fun when you find something that just kind of grabs you?
Yeah, it just kind of clicked.
Yeah. So what are you doing now?
I actually teach. I have my own school now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
So you're an educator?
At Taekwondo school.
Oh, Taekwondo.
School. Yep.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Keep the movement going.
Yeah,
right?
kind of. Yep. I did 9.5 years with the state police, which was wonderful. And then I retired early due to a hip injury, and then started teaching in 1996.
Okay. And where's your school?
My school is in Watt Street.
Okay,
in the
so it's
Crosstown
local.
Plaza. It is local,
Local.
yes.
We should
right
have
off
you
of
come
Route
on
7.
and talk about that.
Sure,
That'd be cool
sure.
sometime.
Love to.
Okay, we can go to the back row and talk to Paul Delavilla. He's sitting way over there on the side. And Paul, you're an inductee, and tell us a little bit about your history.
My history?
Okay, you were born in, no, I'm just.
Sandlot football, it never ended. The history.
That's how you
basically-
started,
that's
with
it.
Sandlot?
Sandlot football, and it just meandered right through. And we're talking about my history in sports. I
Yes,
guess.
of course. And we have a couple photos of you as well.
Well, the last year that I played was for the Patriots Farm Club, and before that, Boston College and high school. It was all seems so long ago now, you know.
I know. Do you still play football?
I don't think so, no.
Well, there's your photos up there. Look at you.
He was an All-American at Mount
were an
Pleasant,
All-American?
so he was quite a running back and also a sprint champion in Section 2.
Amazing.
I lived in the moment and enjoyed it and forgot about it until everybody's reminding me again.
Well, good.
I'm
Well, we're
starting
reminding you here.
I'm starting to look back and think about it and things that I haven't thought of in decades.
Well, life changes. We go into another era of our lives, and you know, each one is blessed in some way or another.
I'm enjoying this.
Good.
I have to say so.
And we have John Morrissey next to you. Somebody's going to give him, well, he's getting 2 mics there. John, you are a golfer, right? And I understand you into PGA and all that?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, when I was playing a lot of baseball, basketball, when I was like 12,
Then you found this little stick.
12, 13. Well, no, I didn't find it. My sister used to play with my dad. And my sister says, why don't you come out and play some golf? You know, I said, I don't want to play golf with,
all those old people.
Yes. And she says, well, she says, you don't want to play because I can beat you.
Oh, that was the challenge.
That
was the challenge.
And when I started golf, then I stopped playing basketball, and I really stopped playing baseball. And I just put all my efforts into golf. And we used to get up like 5 o'clock in the morning to go practice. And at that time, this is years ago, because I'm almost 80, you picked up your own golf balls when you practiced.
Oh, you did. You had to go get them. You've got a lot of exercise.
When you go, the balls are out there. You can hit them all day long, and it's a lot easier.
Somebody else, they get this little sweeper that comes up and catches all the balls.
Yeah. And I was at Mohawk for 25 years as the golf hole. But when I played junior golf. But again, there wasn't a lot of tournaments to play. There was only a few tournaments to play. And then I got a chance. I was working in Florida, and a friend of mine, he was a very wealthy man. He put me on tour.
Oh, that was nice.
And I played for a short time.
Well, the one thing
but
about...
I did qualify, prior to that, I qualified for 3 United States Opens. And when I was down in Florida, I used to play with people like Gene Sarrazin, Stan Musial, Gene Mott, who was manager of the Phillies, Montreal Canadiens, the Angels, Minnesota.
So you had a long career there, and the one good thing about golf is that
you can play forever.
Forever.
If you don't get a bad back like I have.
Okay. Oh yeah, what do you mean you're not playing now? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I walk around.
Miniature
with my daughter.
golf,
My daughter
maybe
was
miniature
a very
golf.
good player, so I walk around with her.
Okay, good.
And I watch the girls play.
We're going to take a shift over to the next guest here. We have Al Aldi here. He was the captain, right, of the undefeated Mount Pleasant football team of 1967. Are you living in the past?
50 years ago.
I know.
Yeah, wow.
You're getting a legacy tribute, I understand.
We are. This is a wonderful tribute for all the guys and all the coaches and our community. It was a wonderful experience. It was a terrific time in our life. We were lucky. We came through, similar to as Paul was saying, came through the parks, playing park ball. But then when we hit Mount Pleasant, we had legendary coaches and legendary teachers that were already there waiting for us.
Yeah, and when they saw you, they knew.
Well, I don't know about that. But
there's the team right there.
We certainly were affected by them in such a positive way. They channeled a lot of our energy, which sometimes wasn't always the most positive direction to start with.
Oh, we were all kids, we know.
They kind of brought us around. They brought us around.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful experience.
Kids today think that we never misbehave, but we did a little. A little? You misbehave ever?
I tried not to.
You tried not. I know I was trying to be a good girl too, but that's how that goes, You kind of go off the wrong path once in a while, but that makes you realize that that's not the place to be. right?
Exactly.
So we want to encourage people to come. Do you still have some tickets?
We do have tickets still available. They can call 346-9297 to purchase tickets or get information. They're also available in the athletic department office at Schenectady High School.
Okay, good. And I think we've been catching the collages that we've had on the side. Those are amazing.
Tony Cristello is our artist, and he's just outstanding. And you see the 3 inductees collages here today, and we have 60 others for each.
And you're going to have them on display.
They will be on display in Key Hall, and so if you come to the reception, which starts around 4:30 on September 11th, you can walk around, and it's a pictorial history of each inductee's athletic life.
How wonderful.
It's tremendous.
What a wonderful thing to do, to pay tribute to these athletes that are looking back now and saying, God, was that me? I do the same thing. You know, I'm looking at these old videos of mine, and it's like, oh my God, did I really look like that? Oh my God. But anyway, I want to thank you all for being here. Michelle, you must come on and talk about your Taekwondo school.
Well, wonderful,
that
thank you.
Would be great.
I would love
do
to,
that.
sure.
And you've all been wonderful guests and telling such great stories. Thank you for sharing those with us. And thank you for bringing these wonderful people.
Well, they're great people as well as
love to see you every
athletes.
year. Yeah.
Thank you for having us again.
Hope
We
you
really
have a
appreciate
great turnout. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be going over to Delmar now to talk about their walk coming up. And stay tuned. I'm Ann Perola. Okay, great. Thank you. How's that? That's plain water, and I'm going to add and what's in here? Vinegar Mother.
Vinegar Mother.
But what kind of vinegar is that? Wine vinegar?
That's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, the Cabernet.
6 show called the Bully Busters.
The Bully Buster?
That's right.
What's a Bully Buster?
Well, a Bully Buster is a person.
I know what a belly buster is, but I don't know what a Bully Buster is.
Well, a bully buster is somebody who is strong against bullies.
Oh.
We're doing this with the Saddlewood Elementary School in Colony. And they wrote a grant for us to come in and build a show about anger management and how to deal with bullies in school.
You know, that's a really good idea. What's the best way to deal with a bully?
Well, the
you
best
hit him in the nose or something?
Well, you're not supposed to hit him at all.
Oh, okay.
No. The best thing is to stand up to them, but not hit them, but to stand them, look them right in the eye and tell them to leave you alone.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, see if you can get your friends to help you out.
Okay, that's good.
But what happens is, even if they keep picking on you, they'll know that it won't be as fun anymore, because what bullies love is when you get all upset.
Well, you know, that is true, because it's your reaction that feeds them.
That's right.
And you know, that works for adults too.
That's right. And that's what we're hoping, because this will teach, hopefully, kids when they get older how to deal with some of the stresses when you get older.
Yeah. Because I know a lot of adults have a problem with that. They get pushed around and they kind of like stuff it, and it gets worse.
Boy, I know somebody. He's down here, right here. He was like that. He was bullied a lot when he was a kid.
Really? I can't imagine that Mark was ever bullied for anything.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was Domino again. But anyway, we're going to be talking about, and I got to get this right, the Lustgarten Foundation Pancreatic Cancer Research Walk, 20th anniversary of
14th.
Well, that was the 20th was the other one.
Yes.
Okay, the 14th.
But we'll do it until we reach 20, if
You're
not
gonna
beyond.
hit 20, it's okay. We'll just replay this later.
Good, and we won't look any older.
Of the Capital District, right?
Yes.
Right.
Woo! So they come on every year, Sherry and Neil Piper. We're so happy to have them here to talk about this great walk to raise money for research of pancreatic cancer. And we have 2 survivors with us. Thank you both ladies for being here. And it's like, oh, I am so happy for you. Yeah, good. So let's talk about the walk.
Okay. You want to talk about the walk?
I would love to talk about the walk.
Talk about the walk.
This year, we're going to have it at the Elm Avenue Town Park.
Yeah, and that's in Delmar.
Just like every other year.
Yes.
Yeah, just like, that's a new place, right?
Yeah, at the large pavilion. Yeah. And the reason we have it at the large pavilion is if it rains, we're protected because it's covered.
Yeah.
So
you
that's
walk
a great
around
thing.
the pavilion, is that it?
Well, I guess we would walk around it, yeah, with
but there's
umbrellas.
lots of activity within the pavilion as well.
We have lots of things going on. As you know, we love the Schenectady Puppet People. They're going to be there. Code
yeah, and
Blue.
you've been watching a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Code Blue Band is going to be there. We're going to have face painters, purple hair extensions, purple for pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
Chair massages.
Okay.
Pick a prize auction, that's a real big one. The pick a prize auction, we're going to have a 50-50 raffle as usual. A special raffle for jewelry and for a special barbecue kind of thing. And,
kind of thing, what would that be?
Well,
probably a grill.
Oh,
probably
okay.
a grill. We're going to have a pet parade contest.
Okay.
For cutest pet and fanciest dressed pet.
Oh, that's nice. I like that idea.
We have lots of cider donuts, lots of coffee,
Price
refreshments.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes, Dunkin' Donuts and
Dunkin'
Price
Donuts
Chopper
coffee,
stuff.
Price Chopper, apple cider donuts, and apple cider.
Okay. Right. And we have some big sponsors this year. So we have, can I say the sponsors?
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Okay, Rensselaer Honda is our big sponsor. We have Albany Gastroenterology Associates.
Sure.
We have St. Peter's Health Partners, Medical Associates, and we have Ostroff Associates as well.
Mm-hmm. And these are physicians that are probably specializing in this area of study.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, the St. Peter's pancreatic cancer surgeons and Albany Gastro, where many of the diagnoses are found.
Right. Let's talk to the guests that you brought behind us, and we have Sue Patterson. Sue, have you been on before? I know you have, but you have been on before too, Sue. And you've been. How long have you been a survivor?
I was diagnosed in 2011. 6 years ago.
Yeah.
In November.
So you went through all the treatments and
I
everything.
went through chemo and
good for you.
And,
Microphone.
Chemo and radiation, and then I had my surgery in February of 2012.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, you're looking great. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Therese, how about you?
Diagnosed in March 2012.
Okay.
Then had surgery about 3 weeks later.
Okay. So they moved quickly.
They did, which I was very blessed. It was caught very early. I didn't need any chemo or radiation.
That's unusual because they usually say it's hard to catch. Is that true, to catch it early?
It was very unusual, which is why my passion right now is making sure we focus the Lustgarten on early detection because it really is the key.
Is there a blood test at all?
Not yet.
They're working on it.
They're working on it, but not quite yet. They haven't quite yet got there.
Yeah, because a blood test would certainly be nice if you could find out some.
Yeah. I mean, the most important thing about pancreatic cancer, some people may not know, it is now the third leading cause of cancer deaths in the country. It is now
third?
surpassed.
Oh my goodness!
It has surpassed breast cancer now. It is also the lowest.
It's surpassed breast cancer.
It's surpassed breast cancer.
And yet we hear so much about breast cancer, don't we?
Well, because we have because we have more survivors.
Yeah, yeah.
And because also too, the pancreatic cancer I learned when I was diagnosed. When I was diagnosed, it was a 4% survival rate after 5 years. Now it's up to between 8 and 9%, which sounds like a lot in 5 years, but not really. It is the lowest survival rate of all the deadliest cancers and the least funded.
Yeah.
And primarily...
that's why the Lustgarten raising
so
money is so important.
It really is. And they've really focused on the early detection and treatments. We had the first drug probably in multiple years, Keytruda, which is a new drug that's been geared towards pancreatic cancer, among others. But since 1974, there's only been 4 other drugs that were specific to pancreatic cancer.
Well, you would think that, and looking at it from my background in pharmaceutical industry, that you're going to look for drugs where you have a third cause of death. I mean, it's
well, we've moved up because of the lack of successive funding.
Yeah. So now they need to ratchet it up a little bit.
And it's also important for patients when they're diagnosed to talk to their doctors about clinical trials, what's available to them. But also one of the main reasons is because of that survival rate. People, unfortunately, don't survive long enough to be in the clinical trials or for the clinical trials to progress to see whether treatment's going to work or a new drug is going to work.
Well, you're going to be the leaders.
Yes.
You're going to be the leaders.
So that's where Lustgarten comes in, because Lustgarten Foundation has already contributed $132 million to research. They've committed $40 million this year, with hopefully another $100 million within the next 5 years. And 100% of every penny raised for Lustgarten goes directly to research. So the way that we're going to reach those goals of raising all that money, committing all that money, is by coming out and supporting us, supporting walks like ours all across the country, so that we can come back in a couple of years and say we have an early detection method that has moved us down the list.
Okay, I have to announce who's coming on next week, and then I'm coming right back to you.
Okay.
Carla Page is going to be on next week. We're going to do an interview. She's an area celebrity, and they're doing a big event for her. Family and Child Service of Schenectady, the Albany Poets, Schenectady Historical Society with their Arts and Crafts Festival, and the Schenectady Jewish Community Center is going to be here to talk about their event, and those are the Apples and Honey event that's coming up, I believe, coming up soon. So anyway, so we want to get people out to come to your event, and that's very important, and so they can just show up, or should they?
They can register online. They can register on that day. We'll take them however they want to come, rain or shine. We want them to come, bring their money, and bring their commitment to helping us find an early detection and a cure for pancreatic cancer.
And participate, because it's a fun walk.
It is.
There's not a lot of competition. You stroll around.
It's handicap accessible, it's stroller accessible, it's kid
Pet
friendly.
accessible.
Okay.
1.2 miles one time around, and a lot of people do it twice around. It's just a lot of fun.
Support them. We need to find a cure for an early detection for pancreatic cancer. I'm Ann Perillo. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.